Alright, this is 10.3c in intermediate algebra, and we are going to continue on with example 6. And I think you'll find that this isn't too bad. In fact, before we get to example 6, let me say that let's pretend that I know when I did my work I found out that x is 3 or x is negative 2. And. Okay. So when you figured out the answer, you found out that x is 3 and x is negative 2. So we're trying to figure out where that equation came from. There's a lot of equations that will give you 3 and negative 2 as an answer. We just want one. It doesn't really matter which one, but I'm just going to show you how to find one. All you're going to do is make the number of parentheses that you have answers. So in this case I have 2 answers, so I'm making 2 parentheses. I'm going to put an x there and an x there. I'm going to look at this answer. It's a positive 3, so I'm going to put a negative 3. This is a negative 2. I'm going to put a positive 2. Okay? And then I'm going to set it equal to 0. Then I'm going to multiply these using the FOIL method. X squared plus 2x minus 3x minus 6 equals 0. So I just did the FOIL method. F-O-I-L. Alright, now I'm going to combine like terms. And I'm done. Okay? Not really too difficult. Alright, so let's look at an example here. And the example I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 3 x's. So I'm going to tell you that x equals 5, negative 5, and 3. So I have 3 answers. I'm going to have 3 parentheses. An x, an x, and an x. There's a positive 5, so I'm going to put a negative 5. There's a negative 5, I'm going to put a positive 5. Positive 3, I'm going to put a negative 3. Okay? So far you're lost, right? That equals, come on, give me my, that equals 0. I'm going to use the FOIL method. I'm going to multiply all 3 together, but I can only multiply 2 at a time. So let's do the FOIL method of that. First, outside, inside, last. So I get x squared, those cancel, minus 25. And I'm going to multiply that then times that. I'm going to use the FOIL method again. Let's do in blue. First, x squared times x, outside, inside, last. Can I combine any of those? No, I can't, so you're done. Okay? So, at this place in your algebraic endeavors, that is about as deep as we're going to go right now into this. But let me give you one example 7. They're telling us that x equals negative 2/3 and 4/5. Alright, so x equals negative 2/3 and x equals 4/5. Now when they give us fractions, things are a little bit more tricky. Not too terribly tricky, but just a little bit more. So what we do is we say that x equals 2/3. Okay? So let's go ahead and get rid of our fraction. So how do we get rid of this 3? We divide both sides by 3, right? So I get 3x equals negative 2, because those cancel. And then I set it equal to 0. Okay, I'm going to hold on to that one for a minute. Alright, so what we did is we took this and set it equal to 0. In order to do that, we had to take the 3 and move it over, and then we had to take the 2 and move it over. We're going to do the same thing with the 4/5. This is only when there's fractions. Multiply both sides by 5, and subtract 4, because we're trying to make it equal to 0. We're trying to get everything on the one side of the equation so that it equals 0, and we get that. Okay? Once we get down to this place, we put both of them in their own parentheses, and we're done. That's all. That's it. Except for doing the FOIL method. Forgot to do that first. Outside, inside, last. Combine inside terms, and we get 15x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. And that is your answer. Okay? So if you were to go the other way and factor that, you would get these answers up here at the top that we started with. Okay, so fractions are a little bit different. You got to do the fractions just like I did. If they're whole numbers, then you're good to go with what I did earlier in example number 6. And that's it for lesson 10.3.